Secret friends, unite!
Welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, episode 539. This is your guide to the geek side, and this is Todd Oxtra. Official 5th place winner out of 10 of a local, video game contest. I won 5th place out of 10, Charlie, and I was the oldest person there. So take you whippersnappers.
50% is almost passing.
Correct. I made it wrong. But yeah, Tubi Con, I went there this weekend.
It's the top half. Think about it.
Correct. Yes, I had to beat out 5 other people, so I feel really good. Tubi Con was this weekend in Minneapolis. It was really awesome. A very fun 3-day video game convention in the Twin Cities. It's it's growing quite a bit, it's so fun. It has tournaments, old stuff, new stuff, cosplay, selling merch, stuff like that. But for me, it was really they had all free-to-play arcade. They had all free-to-play consoles of different ages, and it was just a blast. People were so cool, having fun. My son and his buddy Jaden went with us, and we all just had a good time. So I was really enjoying it. So TudiCon will be back next year.
In competition with other people. So you say you play.
Correct.
So you competed with 10 people. You were like, we're all going to play blah, blah, blah. And you were playing against
Correct.
each other.
Red Bull sponsored it. It was really cool. And they had hosts. And as you finished your portion, you would stand up. And then it was basically, they called musical chairs, but basically it was whoever the last one to finish was kicked out, and then you move on. So it wasn't, we weren't moving seats, but we were just playing, and they start the music when you hear the music start, and you had to do something else. It was very cool, very well done, very fun.
It's good to hear a local con that's kicking it, because local cons can be such a mixed bag. As you know, you go to a good one, you go to a bad one, you go to one that starts. We have one here locally that started great and has just declined as time has gone by, and you just hope it goes away and something better comes along. So we shall see.
Video games is just growing year over year. It hits every demographic, every age, every style of gaming or type of content. So it's not just one demographic. It's like you can like sports games, you can like fighting games, you can like narratives, you can like all of these different games. So it brings in. There were little kids, oldsters like myself and even older that played the old games. It was just so much fun. Oh, there was a Pong machine. There was a pinball arcade. It was really, really fun. So highly recommend it. Free time.
Good deal. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, speaking, we do actually have some video game trailer news to talk about, which I will allow. And then
because they happen to be two of your wheelhouses. So
you know what? Exactly. Know who you're selling to. But no, we've got a great show as always. We're talking about not wrapping up the 2025 box office season by talking about numbers, but we're just kind of talking about it more pejoratively. And then looking down the road to 2026, I know I put together a partial list and thinking about how things are going to be. So we shall see. But as always, when we kick the show off, we'd love to talk about the folks on our Secret Friends Unite Patreon squad over at patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. Exclusive programs, early shows without ads, Discord benefits for 7 days for free. Up to half off your first month, and then staying on board for as little as $2 a month. It's good stuff. And as I love to say, you are actually losing money by not doing it. So pay attention. That's not actually true, but we would still absolutely love to have you. Friends like my buddy Derek Trevelyan, who is surprisingly good at pickleball. He slayed Peter and I in triples earlier this week, but he's, you know what it is? You don't hook up with those tennis players. Like I had Louie out here, my buddy Louie from high school last fall. World-class guy, never played before, did extremely well. So it's just little tennis. That's
so you had to go to table tennis next, which is micro tennis.
Micro tennis? What gets smaller than table tennis? Ping pong? Is that the same thing? Is there something smaller?
Table tennis and ping pong are the same. I guess at that point it's like the home version you get because you're too cheap and you just put a little net on the table and
Oh my God. All right. Now we've gone too far. Anyway, also Francie, who does my wife's hair, Mr. Luke Lore, Xbox Expansion Pass, and my Uncle Tim Haran over there in South Haven, Michigan. Thank you all. Also, John Sedorf, Brendan Myers, Corey in HD, Matthew Keel, my buddy Kurt Krug, actually teaching him pickleball next weekend in East Lansing. That should be fun.
Doesn't Kurt have one leg?
That's
hurt his leg and stuff. No. Well, be nice to him if he had less surgery. Be nice to him.
He has one lung. He did. He lost a lung.
What? I did not know about that. I know he had like leg surgery, and he was when I met him, his leg was bad, so it's better now, right?
No, he actually long before he had an infection. He could tell you all about it, but I didn't know that either. It was in a Facebook post recently. So
that is crazy.
I know. And it was a long time ago, and he's our age. So it was like when he was 30, 35 that happened to him. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Oh my God. Well, but you know what? Kurt's still kicking it, and I love that he says, I have limitations. I said, it's a great game for people with limitations because my dad plays, and everybody's a robot at his age. Tanya Lee, Chipotle Bear. We're not getting through this very fast. Famous Seamus, Cam the Movie Man, J Newport 007, Prozac Man, aka Darth Prozac, and Mr. Freight Conductor. Very grateful for all of you. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, want to get in on the game, patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. 1 week for free, half off your first month, and stay on board for as little as $2. We would love to have you. As much as David Letterman loved having the Avengers on his show, and I know I had this issue at one point, 1982, I'm guessing. You're not going to tell you didn't. Oh, because I'm supposed to guess. That's right. That's how we.
Well, that's how it goes. So I will walk you through. Okay.
I was going to say, I know I've read this issue because I've read most of the issues of this original Avengers. When we talked about this, there was a point even I had to stop because that early 90s run was just not for me. This was probably written by, I think it was Roger Stern, the writer at the time this was going on.
He was.
Okay. But beautiful cover. And to me, a really great Avengers lineup. Hawkeye before West Coast Avengers, Black Widow still with the big collar, my guy Wonder Man in that ridiculous safari outfit, the Beast in his full blue form, and the Black Panther, all hanging out with Dave Letterman. And this was during the iconic Assistant Editors Month. I think I even talked on our spotlight on our Patreon with at least one of the Marvel Comics editors from back in the day about exactly what all of this meant. And one of them said the whole thing was a gimmick because we do everything 6 months in advance. All the editors weren't suddenly at San Diego Comic-Con. It was planned as a gimmick, but it was funny. A wide variety of comics that month were just done with weird takes and strange stuff. Like, for example, the letterbox, all of the Avengers are turned around. So you see the back of their head, but usually it's the other way. So break it down for me. What's going on?
Okay. So you got the date wrong. So this is actually October 83.
83.
Close enough. Yes. So this was a weird one because David Letterman, we talked about the Saturday Night Live crossover and we had the David Letterman, this one, the synopsis. Hawkeye arrives at Avengers Mansion with his new bride, Mockingbird. Even as the couple accustoms themselves to the Vision's new hologram form, Wonder Man calls to ask if the team will aid his acting career by appearing with him on the David Letterman show. With the regular members on a mission, the Vision recruits several former members, and soon Wonder Man, Hawkeye, Mockingbird are joined by Black Panther, the Beast, and Black Widow.
Great
Love
squad.
this. Fabian Stankiewicz, the Avengers' bumbling antagonist, invades a TV studio in disguise and installs various of his inventions.
Oh my God.
Which attack the heroes on stage, while Stankiewicz brazenly takes the guest seat and explains his devices while Letterman produces a giant doorknob and knocks him momentarily senseless, then deactivates his power source.
Now, the Fabian Stankiewicz character, I can at least tell you that subsequently he gave up his criminal ways, you see my air quotes, and he became part of the Avengers staff. The Avengers staff in the 90s was like John Jameson, J. Jonah Jameson's son, who was also Man-Wolf, but he was an astronaut, so he became a pilot, Cap's pilot. And then Stankiewicz was on staff. The old Peggy Carter, who was old at that point, was also on staff. And they had the beautiful Avengers jackets, the jackets that everybody loved. So they had like a Avengers jumpsuit, not a cosplay you would see because nobody cares. But that's funny. I recognize the name. Stankiewicz. Nice.
He was the Mechnonaut originally. And also as the Meccano Marauder.
I like
yes, and then
I like anything that ends in not.
Looks like the last time we saw him was during Heroes Reborn.
Oh, geez. Wow. Okay. So he did it to get Heroes Reborn. So this was after they came back.
Yes. So that's about it.
Subsequently got wrapped up. Well, like I said, this issue absolutely available on Marvel Unlimited. That is probably, I may or may not have had a print copy at some point, but I don't know, Tide, you've got a mismatch of comics. Does this one look like one you have?
No. I own a small little run of Avengers right around the time when they discovered the Cocoon which you can create on it.
Oh, so about 3-4 years after this. God.
Yeah.
Crossover.
Yep.
Crossover.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah, but this was this was right before Secret Wars. It was right before the West Coast Avengers. So, but it would have been immediately following the Hawkeye miniseries, the first one, which is where Hawkeye and Mockingbird met, fell in love through having an adventure, and then got married at the end of it. So there you go. Fun to read.
Well,
yes.
Oh, yeah. Charlie, guess what? And who drew this? You guessed it, Al Milgrom.
And do you know who I spent almost an hour talking to yesterday? Al Milgrom. And you know what?
Tell Al Milgrom I said hi. Was that when Mark Wahlberg says, tell your mother I said hi?
I have to come back for a second part because I could not keep him on task. But it was actually genuinely interesting. But that'll be over on our Patreon. Very good. Very, very nice guy, Michigan guy. We talked a lot about Michigan stuff too. So, but anyway, the power behind Fabian Stankiewicz. Now, here's a fun fact that you didn't know. The person who was running the criminal empire that was really behind him, without a doubt, you guessed it, even at age 84, was our senior news correspondent, Madam Webb. Boy, she had fingers in a lot of different pies back in that days. But now she works for us, thankfully, down at the corner of Hollywood and Vine, giving us the latest news and scoops for a segment we call News with Madam Webb. Let's go.
Now it's time for Madam Webb's Rumors and News. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Madam Webb. You know, Madam Webb, it is week 2 of the Minnesota Renaissance Festival. And I know Penn and Teller was actually in Minnesota for week 1 because that's where they got their debut. So they came back 50 years later. Very cool that they did it. Kind of neat that, they remember their roots. But Madam Webb also started there 50 years ago. And she, basically convinced everybody that she was actually from the Middle Ages, and they're pretty close, but just turn the century instead. So, Madam Webb, you're welcome back anytime. They are always looking for people to be insulted and get tomatoes thrown at them.
You bet. Fresh produce. I love it. Well, it was funny when this trailer dropped this week on our Discord. I was like, wasn't that show on like earlier this year? But it wasn't. It was on last year. Was it on last year or the year before? It
was early Feb. I thought Feb 2024.
24, yeah. But it feels like it was just yesterday. And we're talking about Fallout, which is over on Amazon Prime. And it's just one of those, with streaming shows, you're like, we teed you up for a cliffhanger and come back in 1 to 3 years for the conclusion. Because that's just the way this stuff works. For a 10-episode season, that's how long it takes to produce. But we're getting kind of some wish fulfillment as far as the game goes, because one of the biggest portions of the game is that kind of Las Vegas setting, right? And isn't that where the previous season kind of landed us, if I'm remembering correctly?
Yeah, there's a video game called Fallout New Vegas, where it takes place in New Vegas, which is essentially, it's one of the few areas that were not completely destroyed. So that becomes like a center of kind of the world for entertainment and things like that. And I'm glad that they're using that inspiration. Obviously, that was a separate game versus Fallout 3, and they're all kind of intermingled in that world, so which is kind of cool. Some take place like on the East Coast, some typically take place on the West Coast, and they can vary. So there's been, let's see, Fallout 3, New Vegas, Fallout 4, and then that's it. And they do a Fallout 76 game, which is essentially a multiplayer game in that area. So there's like 5 games. So there's always something there to take story points from it. But obviously we're headed to Vegas because that's where, we need to go to track down Dearest Daddy, who's got some explaining to do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And we get, and again, just as a quick sidebar, Fallouts 1 and 2 were board games, right? So it was before the video game era because they go back a ways.
They had 2 original games too that were in a different format made by a different developer. So the series has been around in some type of form, electronically or tabletop for probably 25 years, 26 years or longer.
Yeah. That's awesome. Because, Kyle MacLachlan was her dad revealed to also be a long-lived string puller from back in the time. Because what was the time jump from this? So they live in kind of an alternate Earth where there was a nuclear holocaust in what we would consider probably the 1970s. if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it's
though,
alternate history time, so you got a mix of interesting like 50s aesthetic things like that.
Correct. Yeah.
And the issue is because the ghoul is, from that time that everything happened, he can live for a long time.
Right.
So Kyle MacLachlan, I'm trying to remember how it worked, but obviously he's pulling the strings between the vaults and different things like that. So I don't know from the bomb drop to where Lucy emerges. I could probably look that up, but it's probably a good 30 to 40 years because they're thinking about like Fallout finishing so they can finally go out in the world. And I don't know how long they expected it. 100 years, maybe that's what they were expecting.
Yeah. Lucy, of course, being Ella Purnell, who is our heroine. So this trailer takes us and the ghoul, who's the Wally Goggs or Walton Goggins character, and puts them together in an adventure where they do finally reach this Vegas, and we find a new villain who I'm assuming is also potentially from the past times. And that's Justin Theroux. Who is a great actor of great accord. And, it's the trailer is filled with the usual, exploding bodies. And at the end of it, do we get a dragon? Because we get a real tight critter, and it looks like, like a Game of Thrones style kind of dragon. So
those are called razor claws. And think about, Charlie, like in the desert, you've got like iguanas or, you got lizards. Those got mutated almost dragons. So they're called razor claws. They are the biggest, baddest things in the world. That's awesome. We didn't get a lot of, I would say, creatures. We get that one creature in the water that tried to eat Lucy. And then I'm trying to think of what other creatures we got. We got some bugs. We didn't get a lot of other creatures though. We got the ghouls and
And so I will probably end up slamming through season 1 again just because we've got some time and I enjoyed it so much. I'm looking forward to that December 17 over on Amazon Prime. The beauty of Prime is that pretty much everybody has it anyway.
Because, and this season 1 debuted April. Everything was dropped at once out there. They are changing their ways. This one drops December 17th, but it's going to be a weekly drop. That's good. Because I think. Well, now that Amazon charges you for ads, they get to squeeze a little more out of you every month.
Got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I think people don't want more. They want more quality. They don't want just an onslaught of content that, quite honestly, you don't watch. So I think it makes sense. It's like, let's make good stuff and then have people stick around for 8 weeks of that versus, what's the next, like Temptation, Love Island, Love is Blind, those shows.
We keep walking backwards to the old ways. Things turn into TV seasons. Even if the seasons are only 8 to 10 weeks, it's still, they want to keep you hanging on because, again, now everybody's watching ads or paying to not watch ads. So, it's like physical media. We started with the 8 tracks and went through CDs and went through DVDs and Blu-rays and whatever. And now we're going backwards, and as streaming stuff becomes more expensive or you can't find stuff, you got to have that disc. So anyway, a conversation that is
I mean, maybe every once in a while there's a disc, but you're not getting discs of Temptation Island. You're not getting discs of Love is Blind.
Big stuff. Okay. Big stuff. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, moving on.
And I was going to answer your question. So the timing, essentially, the season 1 primarily takes place in 2296, which is 219 years after the Great War in 2077. So the ghoul is like 250 years old.
So everything you were seeing when he at the cold open to the very first episode where he's talking to his daughter and saying, the thumb is if it's the plume of the mushroom, that was in 2077.
It's like an alternate timeline where essentially, there's aesthetics and
wow, I didn't know.
Trying to remember if we had space travel or not, and I can't remember space travel was a thing.
I don't think so because it didn't seem like anybody got away. So
okay. Well, no, there was just already astronauts up there, and they never returned, or they couldn't return because, like, well, shit, do we want to return to that? Probably not.
I know there could be a wrinkle. Yeah, I'll watch season 1 again because I'm curious to fill in some of the particulars. But all right. This show, I'm sure we talked about this when it came on. Was this a show? And this is season 2. Did you get into this right away or discover it later? I don't remember it at all.
I absolutely love the show. I saw the trailer. I'm like, I'm going to watch it. And it was a show that I knocked out pretty quickly.
Sure.
Especially I was a big fan of Shogun. This and Shogun are kind of like really excellent versions of kind of like not alternate history, but a take on history within like, you think about the Japanese, the different empires and the different shoguns that they had. And this one is pretty cool because it's actually kind of tied close to Shogun, where you started getting Europeans involved in Japanese politics, like giving them weapons and things like this. You got like these guys that knew there was a profit. Typically it was the Portuguese, Spanish as well, and then the English, and there was just a bunch of groups that came in. That's what Shogun was all about. It was very cool. But this one is very similar, where it's the beginning of that, where there's the main character, Mizu, is essentially half Japanese, half Caucasian.
Quick.
Because
isn't Mizu a soup? Or am I crazy?
That's miso. This is Mizu with a Z. Yeah, but close enough. Yes. So her mother is, had this baby. Her baby was basically an outcast. Why it's blue eye samurai, because she had blue. She wears these like sunglasses, kind of, or like these tinted glasses to cover her color of her eye, basically to tint it so they can't tell. So this is a revenge tale because essentially these people came in and ruined her life, killed a lot of people, and also started arming and almost kind of manipulating the different feudal lords into chiefs. So it's very cool. So the first season is about her getting revenge, and she's kind of a underdog, which makes it very cool. So the way she goes about it is very cool, and the animation scenes are amazing. They use mocap. It's a really great story. It's very fun. And it's told well, and there's a really good cast of characters, but it's uber violent. I mean, limbs are getting hacked off.
Yeah, I was surprised that the throat's cut. You see at one point a woman or a female visage with that she's naked and pregnant, and again it's in shadow, and there's a devil in there, and it's just like it's very, it's very TVMA. Now this is on Netflix. How many episodes typically? Like you're usually 8, 10?
I think there was 8 first season. And then there is nudity, there is sex and violence. So it's very well done though. Yeah, beautiful animation style too. Yeah. Well done. And then it's got American creators behind it, which is, helps because a lot of people don't like anime. So it's really American creators, writers, and everything like that. Yeah, but I'm assuming a lot of shows they will still get like a dub with Japanese or other languages, which is really cool. Which I'm liking, the fact that you can get animation from other places and still do amazing things. And I believe the one showrunner is half Asian, and then they have a producer who's full an Asian woman. So it's good that you do get some authenticity, and some people can give that viewpoint. And there's a way to.
You know what? There's always a spot for a white. Put a white in there. American. Did I get this? It's American studio or a overseas? Studio?
I believe it's an American studio. I have to look who actually what the production studio was. Beautiful animation though. And they didn't know. Ming Na Wen plays one of the characters. Which is great. There's some great undercurrents. So if you just like good storytelling with some really cool comedy, there's nothing mystical about the show. It's just truly in Japan in those times, and it's a revenge tale. So.
Except for the pregnant woman who's having a devil baby. That's maybe a little. It's a dream.
Yeah, I totally missed that part, but yeah.
Oh my gosh! All right, so the only video games I enjoy, those ones from the Traveler's Tales, the Legos games. You can say what you want about it. 6 of one, half tons of the other. That's where I'm at. So the last one that I had that I can remember them putting out, at least that was on my radar, was back in 2022, was the Uber Star Wars one. Like, we're going to roll everything together. Yes. This is all the films.
Skywalker collection?
Yep. Saga. Yeah, there you go. And they rolled in just everything there was at that point, and they even snuck, a DLC with Mando characters in there and blah, blah, blah. But the games always follow the same kind of format. You've got, it's open world. They're on quests. You can solve little puzzles. It's not a lot of heavy lifting. For me, it was very enjoyable. And I even got April into it. We played that entire game, the two of us, and it was a lot of fun. And she likes video games less than I do. So nothing since then. And maybe and this is pretty typical in video games because it's a multi-year development process, right? I mean, it's a lot of heavy lifting. And as you put in here, the last Lego DC game was Lego DC Supervillains, which I also played and very much enjoyed. 2018. Wow.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Wow, yeah. So obviously there's a lot involved in development. But this is going to be Lego Batman. You don't have the full name of it. Is it the Shadow of the Dark Knight or something?
It's Legacy. It's Legacy of the Dark Knight. And what makes it interesting is they're going to be covering the actual movies,
films,
like Dark Knight, 89. So you're going to get all those characters, which we haven't seen before. Typically, the Batman in those games have not been an adaptation of like media. They've been just their own.
Right, because there's been 3 regular Lego Batman. There's just Lego Batman, and that was from the 2000 and aughts, if I'm not mistaken. There was the second one, which is DC Heroes, I think, which was early 2010s, maybe. And then the third one, I'm drawing a blank on the third one. The third one was the Galactic. They like you would go to different worlds and stuff, and the Green Lanterns was a big part of it. And I think I still own some of them, but I'm drawing a blank. And and then after that, Lego DC Supervillains, and then this is the next thing. So I enjoyed looking at the trailer. I thought I saw a couple of things that were interesting, like he would use the grapple to shoot between the guy's legs and pull him back and then bump him. So they've completely changed the combat. It's going to feel more like the Arkham games, which is pretty cool. Okay. It's an open world, so there won't be levels, which is just like the video games, which is very fun. Apparently, there will only be 7 playable characters rather than it could be you get 100 characters, but there's a lot of outfits and you can play different versions of Batman, like Batman Beyond, things like that. So it's kind of interesting that they're doing it that way. but you know what? I think a lot of people, they're trying to make this like more of a video game than just like a collectible like Lego simulator, which to me is like that's what's always lost me in Lego, because I feel like so much of it is just collect the bricks and do that. It's almost like a checklist or a grocery list versus so and so I think this may be fun, but you are going to get to play Batman, Jim Gordon, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Catwoman, and Talia al Ghul, and each character is equipped with unique skills, combos, and gadgets like Batman's Bat Claw, Jim Gordon's foam sprayer, which iconic apparently. And different costumes. Yeah. I got it. So I assume that the Batman is all of the Batman that you described, because in the past they'll have like a little pinwheel you'll push down, and then you can be I want Dark Knight Batman, I want whatever Batman.
I think it'll be outfits you collect, so I think that's going to be the big thing, like a collectathon,
right? And that's not terribly dissimilar from shades of things they've done in the other games, so that's good. The familiarity, I'm sure, is a big sticking piece, and I'm sure this will continue to have some nostalgic value with kids who played it back in 2005 or whenever it is that the game came out. But I like it. It's enjoyable to me, where any game I've tried has just not necessarily clicked, but the Lego games can't always have. Whatever, you know what? The entertainment is to entertain. It's not a contest. So that's all right by me.
And Marvel did more of they did things that had, I guess, they were more tied to the movies, I guess, the way they set some of their things up.
Later on they did, because they made the first. Well, they made the first one after Avengers 2012, because it was very heavily influenced by that, and then they moved on and made one just about Avengers period or Age of Ultron. I can't even remember the last one that they did, but they're kind of out of that, because it seems to be much more of a Warner Brothers focus. So obviously there's a relationship there that cuts Disney out. What are you gonna do?
And we haven't had a Batman movie adaptation since probably one of the really, probably would have been maybe the Joel Schumacher games, where they did the weird beat 'em up or something like that. Yeah. With So it's been, because we didn't get Nolan video games. We didn't, or maybe we did. I can't remember. I think there might've been a first one, and then they stopped doing that. We said, we're not going to make adaptations. We're going to do the Arkham games, which are great. So it's kind of fun that you get to play in these worlds, Heath Ledger, that's what he wanted, really, to just be Legoized, right?
That it is his. That was
his dream. It was in his will. I required to be in a Lego video game,
no matter how long it takes, because he died in 2010, I think. No, when did that movie come out? When did Dark Knight come out? 2008. He died 3 or 4 months before it came out, as I recall.
It's been a long time. We're past 15 years now. Dark Knight came out in 2008. So we are now at 17 years post, which is just crazy.
I've been down one of those rabbit holes with the timeline videos on YouTube. So that was one I recently watched, 2008. And we saw some of the settings when we were in Chicago.
That's right, so, Chicago. Yeah, and I know I didn't really look down, because there's a list of movies, and you can go to place, you can see where every setting was. I did not really look at it yet, so I'm assuming a lot of those locations are just places I didn't notice at the time, but very cool.
It was there. All right. Well, look at this. You got me talking about 3 video games in a row, but 2 of them are about Star Trek. That's all right. So the first one is about Star Trek Voyager, and you and I were having a conversation about this. Not a favorite show of yours, which I get it. everybody. That's what's beautiful. What I've always found beautiful about Star Trek is there's different corners for everybody. You don't necessarily, I don't necessarily love everything. Some of the recent output has not been my favorite, and some of it has been ones that I like, but we don't need to get into that. You want to get into that, listen to me on Code 47. I'll tell you all about it. But Voyager, and this was something I actually read. I read it in an article that Kurt Krug wrote. He interviewed Robert Picardo when Robert Picardo was at Motor City Comic Con here in Michigan earlier this year, is that Voyager, which was on the UPN, a phony network, from 1995 to 2001, ran 7 full seasons, just like its 2 predecessor series, but there has been really no output of that, or really even those characters, until 7 of 9 came back as a character, real time after having time gone by in the first season of Star Trek Picard in 2019. So it was a very big gap, almost 20 years. But the show, Picardo was saying in this article, was very popular in COVID when people were going through tough times. Maybe they were in lockdown. They wanted to watch something easy.
Like Suits.
Like Suits, exactly. Well, that show had a complete revival. But they, the numbers for Voyager on Paramount Plus, I'm assuming, because that's pretty much its exclusive streaming home. People just it's easily digestible because the stories aren't a ton of heavy lifting. There's not a lot of violence. There's not a lot of sex. There's not a lot of heavy themes. You know what I mean? Though there is still definitely some Star Trek messaging in there and some great moments, great characters, and other things. So the show became very popular, which to me, without even really looking at this link, would really make me think, well, that's why, based on that, there would be interest to make a video game for a show that's been off the air for 25 years, that has never had a follow-up like a movie or anything like that. And most of the characters have never been seen again. So what do you think? This is just a trailer that seems to just be recreations of moments from the show, a ship flyby and a this and that. So didn't really give me an idea of what's going to be.
Okay. So yeah, I can give you the rundown. So this is going to be basically saying, what if you were the captain of Voyager during that whole season? So
kill everybody.
No Janeway, you're now in charge of it, and you get to make those decisions. So every time that Janeway did something, was that the right decision? And along with that being the captain, and I don't know if you saw the side view, it shows the ship, and it's kind of like, you're going to actually have to run that ship, tell people, maintenance, or prioritize shields over this, or do that. And you got the people, you have to repair it. Okay, are you going to get to a battle? Oh my God, we got to be repaired. We're going to go on away missions. Right. And not only that, Charlie, it will also then have touch points that are key parts of the series. Like, it'll go back and say, let's recreate that, what actually happened, right? So this is what it says. For as long as Star Trek Voyager has been around, there have been much debate about if Captain Janeway made the right decisions navigating her crew's journey. One of those is, should she have killed Tuvix to save the lives of 2 crew members? Should she have been hyper-evolved into an amphibian, had sex with one of her seniors? Also currently hyper-evolved amphibian officers, should she have deleted that wife? So it's like, these are just jokey things, but yeah, right?
Well,
yeah.
Here's a really key one, and it's funny because, my mother watched the show because, as you recall, back in college, she would tape them for me for my library. And Todd, you'll remember this. In the end of the second season, they had a choice to either go fight a superior force to try to rescue a child that may or may not have been Chakotay's, and they lose their ship and get stranded on it. At the end of it, my mom was like, that's bullshit. There's no way she should have done that. You know what I mean? So is that one of the moments? Because I was like, go rescue this kid that might be his. No, let's keep going.
It might be, and there is fail states, right? There is fail states, like you will lose. So you would have to replay it to see if you can do it. So it makes it kind of interesting to say the impact of your decision. But it does say, like, this, some of the things you're going to do. It says, aside from letting players rebuild Voyager's internal systems and research ways to adapt Delta Quadrant technology to sustain its journey and manage new crew morale, across the unknown, we'll have players making key decisions inspired by the TV adventures, engaging in ship combat and team management for away missions. It's going to be a little bit more like not real-time combat in a lot of ways. It'll be more like you're making tactical decisions. So it won't be about...
It's kind of like one of those, like, choose your own adventure deals, like, okay, you've come to this thing in the road and you choose A, B, or C, or that kind of deal. Or like, okay, you made this choice, but instead of the way it went in the show, now you have to fight these aliens who are, you're outnumbered, that kind of thing.
Correct. But you'll still control the ship. You'll still do those things. It'll be more like you're probably not I mean, maybe they'll do it this way. You're not actually controlling the ship. You're basically giving orders to, all the different characters within it, like scan the ship, do this, engage, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
So
this was like, wish list this now. So you can wish list this game on Steam. I'm familiar with Steam, but it has no release date. Is this just going to be for PC then? I can't get it on a console, even if I got a new console, which I know I'm due.
It may be. It just depends on how it controls. So it might be mouse and keyboard type things where you're moving the mouse used to select things. They can also adapt those to consoles. They've done it pretty well with using, one thing is your kind of mouse. So I don't know yet, and they didn't show a lot of gameplay, so it's really hard to tell how it'll play. But it may. More stuff is going everywhere, so which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly interested. I don't know. I haven't really done PC games. I'm sure I'm not set up for it. I've never got into Star Trek Online. My partner Peter is really into that. He could tell you about it. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on this for sure. But so and it's interesting. So the second game that we're talking about is based in a setting of the era of Deep Space Nine and the Star Trek Next Generation film. So it's wild that these two products are dropping, reflecting periods of Star Trek that nobody's making productions about anymore. So it's for heritage fans. It's obviously, or people who have discovered the show, as I said, on streaming. It just shocks me because I'm actually watching the last episode of Deep Space Nine right now because we're finishing the series on our next episode of Code 47. And I said to Peter right when we started season 7, I said, this show just had no right to be this damn good. They had a nearly flawless 7th season. They really didn't have many misses. But I could tell right away that this game, which is called Infection, really has that Last of Us vibe, the Walking Dead vibe. And it's the first kind of horror Star Trek game, but your setting is, just watching this, it's a Defiant class ship, which is the ship from Deep Space Nine. You appear to be, because again, it's first person, so you're getting your hands and picking stuff up, but the guy is a Vulcan because you see him do a mind meld, you see him do a nerve pinch, and he has gold stripes on his sleeve, so he's an engineer, he's an operations person. But all the sets are the Defiant corridors, and you see the shuttle bay and the little shuttle, which is unique to that. So, but I find that very interesting that again, so this is also, it says VR. So does that mean I'm kind of out of luck? It's for systems that,
unless you buy a Quest 3, I got one because there's a lot of Star Wars games in VR, which is really fun because they're more like I'm swinging the lightsaber. I'm doing that kind of stuff. It's not like using a controller and just doing that kind of stuff. So it's very immersive, very fun. Like you see Darth Vader, you look up and like, holy crap, he's right there. You get to be around the ship. So it's really a cool experience.
Yeah. I did one of those long ago. I don't know. I think it was when I was working at the radio station.
I think you did PlayStation or something like that. You did PlayStation VR, I think, Charlie.
Somebody tagged me along and they said, try this out. And I put it on and you were in a shark cage descending. And then you're looking around and it's the ocean. So it's dark. And then obviously eventually a shark comes and goes, ah!
Yep.
I can't remember the circumstances of why I did that. And I just lost Todd. There he is.
I was just going to show you the new one. Yeah, it's very cool. Fits really well on your head. They've got inserts now too, where you can put lenses, like your glass lenses. They snap in, so you have to wear glasses, which is kind of nice too, and they're cheap, like $30.
Oh, great!
Get them from it's very cool.
That headset is $30. That can't be right. The insert.
No. The inserts for your glasses are $30.
Okay,
but. Yeah. But they're. I mean, I think you can get a headset for $300, which used to be very expensive. Now it's come down in price.
Yeah, and
a lot of people do it for exercising too, because it's very you can do Beat Saber, which is you'll burn some calories and stuff. It's fun.
What is it? What kind of system? What's a Quest 3? That's a different kind of system. It says
no. It's like Quest 3 and 3S are the two versions of what this will be on. It's just a standalone system. You don't need a video game. Everything's all in one. So all your games are in there. It's wireless. Yeah.
Well, that'd be interesting. Of course, that does bring the fear that people will, eventually people will just be walking around on the street with those. Will be like, we'll have a society of people.
I hope not. They will run into everything. Yes.
Well, you won't care because you'll be in this virtual environment. So anyway, this looks super cool. And I don't know. We probably don't have a date for this one either. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It says not is set to launch later this year. So that's pretty good. Then it'll come to basically PC VR, which is basically you can get non-Quest headsets to run through your PC if you want as well.
Okay.
But they don't say PlayStation 2 VR, which is just sad because that's not done very well. But what I like about this, it says you're basically set on the USS Lumen, which that's obviously a fake ship, right? Never mentioned before.
Okay. Keep in mind Starfleet is vast, so there's a gazillion different ships, and that's not so hard to believe.
Okay. And then it's kind of neat because you're dealing with an infection, and then you can do stealth things, like you can try to sneak around, not be noticed. Like you saw him sneak up behind one of the infected and do the nerve pinch. You can also use your phaser, your tricorder to scan the area. And what I like too is the fact that you're a Vulcan and you're infected, but you're able to kind of control the infection with your logic, which I like. And then they have looked like it was a Cardassian that was kind of mocking him, I think, and telling him like, you're not going to keep control and you're, kind of mocking him.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did see something like that. Yeah, it was very interesting. Well, yeah.
So this looks like a great use of the license in VR. I'm very excited for this because I loved Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, which was a first-person shooter in the Star Trek universe. Like you were there, like they're high-end security forces, which why not? They had time to train them, right?
Sure, why not?
Make them like Navy SEALs.
They had all kinds of time. Hey, I think our guy Tim Russ's Tuvok was featured in that game. He was voice actor in that game.
Yes.
So that's fun. Well, you'll have to. Is this something you're going to get? You can tell me all about it.
I've got the system. There's no reason I shouldn't check it out and play around with it. I don't do enough VR because I have to make space in the area because obviously I don't want to bump into things. So I have to make sure I make space for it when I play.
Go outside and run around in your yard.
I could do it in my garage. I absolutely could do it outside or go in the garage and do it if I wanted to. Like have a space that's free. Take the cars out and just play in there because it's wireless. I
think outside would be safer because you're not going to run into the walls. I left a snow shovel here.
Well, they do a really cool thing. You basically paint the space you're in, so it creates the walls for you. So when you get close, it'll tell you. But if you're running,
that's good.
It's really smart. Yeah.
I had a very long conversation against my will, but not in a bad way, with Marvel's Al Milgrom yesterday. We started talking about Archie comics, and lo and behold, you have some Archie comics news. What do we got going on here?
Okay, this is kind of neat because Archie has been around for, I'd say, a good 70 years now, because I'm assuming they launched in the 50s.
It might have been older than that, but anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so we've had Archie throughout time being in live action. We had, I believe there was we had a cartoon series in like the 60s where they had the Sugar song. Remember? Sugar, ... which are there known for. Then they had a cartoon, I believe, then again in the 80s, which we see here in the article. Yep. And then we had I think there was a live action Archies in the 80s, which was kind of more like a movie.
Weird.
I'd have to look it up. And then we got Riverdale. And then we got Sabrina. So, I mean, they've used their property very well. They've relaunched like a lot of their comics with more mature bent. And then lately we got like just the most recent, it was Jay and Silent Bob crossover with Archie. So,
and I read that one too. Oh, by the way, it does say right here, 85-year-old franchise.
85. Wow. So 40s?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Holy cow. And those digests are still selling, maybe? I don't know.
I would say go to your local supermarket and they're probably right
That's
there in
true.
the lane. Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's where you got them. Yeah, those little pages. So apparently, this is what's going to happen. Lord and Miller are coming in to produce with Emma Watts, and they are going to be working on this new adaptation. So basically, even the CEO, John Goldwire, producer of Archie. So we got a lot of people involved. And the plot details are in the wraps. However, Archie follows the high school hijinks of the cute Archie and his mean squeezes. Riverdale is steeped in Twin Peaks-like noir. Even Sabrina showed up in that series, like a one episode out of the blue. But if they're involved, and it looks like some of the people involved with this also were part of the Lantern series that's coming out and worked on. Cool. And also Tom King is going to be involved, who wrote Supergirl World of Tomorrow.
There you go. Wow.
So there is some talent, and Lord and Miller don't get involved in something unless there's something there that they can do fun things with. Like They did 21 Jump Street.
Which is why Kathleen Kennedy got rid of them.
Exactly. Get rid of them. They doesn't know what you're doing.
They're too much fun. You're
bringing Mr. Excitement Ron Howard.
Come on. Opie
I love Ron. He was great in the studio when he won that episode.
Oh my God, I enjoyed that show. And we just talked about American Graffiti on Holocron the other week, and he played a pretty despicable character, but he played it well. And yeah, hats off to him.
The character was Archie Cunningham. Oh,
no, Opie Cunningham. Yeah, that was the Eddie Murphy bit from SNL. Opie Cunningham is a selfish bastard.
Yes. Well, this will come out. Hopefully it'll be fun. A movie, which is interesting. So they could go the route of like a Barbie, Brady Bunch or something, play with these characters out of time, even like a Pleasantville, maybe do something like that. And we'll see where this is coming. So that is your news for the week.
I have to read this blurb before we move on. Archie Comics has sold over 3 billion comics and are published in dozens of languages, as well as being read worldwide in English. 20 million copies of the hit single Sugar Sugar have been sold. Archie Comics social media has 3 million followers across different channels, sold in countries such as India, Philippines, Canada, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, with 100 million comics sold in India in the last 50 years. Tell me something else that is as popular as Archie Comics.
Well, they said 50 years. They didn't say how many in the last 5 years.
So that would be a rather deceptive bit of reporting. I assume
50 years. Yes.
There's validity to it. Maybe they used to wipe their butts with. I have no idea. But anyway, yes. As Todd said, that is the news. It is time to get us on out of here. We've got to get ourselves over to the Geek Easy. We are obviously not there right now. Todd is in this menagerie of heads, and I'm here in my studio, of course. So I've ordered my Uber. It's on its way. And as it pulls up, the radio plays, and here is this familiar ditty.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
We're sitting in the Geek Easy, cover band's playing, drinks are poured, and we are ready to get our nerd on. So, after our break from Chicago, Charlie had already talked about Weapons previously, and he said, go check it out. A lot of people have talked about this movie. It's done very well at the box office.
Runaway smash.
Yes, it's very huge. Interesting cast. I didn't realize Han Solo was in this, which was interesting. And I'm trying to think of any other. I don't know if there's any other notable actors.
It was Wong from Doctor Strange was principal.
Oh, yes, he was in there too. Yep, he was the principal. Okay. So other than that, I don't know if there's any other notable actors, but I finally saw it.
Yeah, I can think of one who was Han Solo's live-in girlfriend is a comedian who I like. It's June Diane Raphael, who's on that How Did This Get Made, which is a new favorite podcast of mine. Because she's the wife of Paul Scheer, comedian. Sorry. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Okay. But now I understand why it's called Weapons. Definitely a different take than I would thought that would actually happen.
Right.
Very weird. And the storytelling was interesting as well, as it introduced characters and the way they kind of showed viewpoints and played with it. And I mean, there were a couple of gross out scenes. There were some jump scares. But once again, this felt like this could have been an episode of The X-Files in a lot of ways. The way it went. Yeah. So there was some things to it that were kind of like, but I enjoyed it, but it really was odd. It just was it's a movie you can't put your finger on like, okay, I expected that. And it wasn't a straight up, just like, we know what happened. And it was just a normal situation. So, I really enjoed it. Kept my toes. And Charlie, once again, what did I do when it was rolling? Is there a post-credit scene as I'm sitting in the theater? Because I never know.
You can always read about it.
I can, yes.
And one thing in particular that I liked, and again, I don't want to do spoilers because it's popular right now, and I would really encourage people to go see it. But I do like it how the ending was satisfying, but it wasn't a happy ending, because it's not like, all of our characters, they snapped right out of it or whatever, and everything worked out just fine. It was not a happy ending. It is just that the primary
resolution.
Primary thrust of the movie was resolved. That's the best way to describe it.
And it didn't leave a cliffhanger of, I won't want to spoil it, but let's put it this way. It's a standalone movie. Yes. If they wanted to play more in that universe and maybe say, there's some things that are unknown to us in this
Right.
universe.
Did you? Here's my question, because I inevitably kind of compare it to the director's prior film, which was Barbarian, which I found very enjoyable. Plus it was set, though I'm sure not filmed in Detroit, in the Brightmoor, which is one of the nastiest neighborhoods in Detroit. So I love it how in that film it's on this destroyed block with this one pristine house, which never made any sense.
If you want to stand out, that's not how you do it. I mean, or if you want to stand out, that's not how you do it.
If you want to not stand out, yes, exactly.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, because that's what ultimately it ended up being. Did you find this film or that film to be more surprising, more entertaining, more engaging? How would you compare the two? I mean, not that they necessarily should be, but I'm asking the question. What do you think?
Wow, that's a good question. But in a lot of ways, just because they're made by the same guy, I think he's gotten really good about, like, you would probably never guess what happened. I think Barbarian told you nothing going in. So it's like, I don't know what this movie's about. I just knew there's people showing up. This one, I think this played with more emotions, things like that, because it was dealing with families and friends, the impact on this on many different people. Some very weird decisions on characters they introduced, which I thought were like odd behavior, a little comedy too. All I want to say is not spoilers already, but Charlie, there was the moment when essentially we got the final payoff. I found it almost comedic at times when it was happening, which I shouldn't, but I did.
Because it was gruesome. It was just like,
not like gruesome. It was just the way it was like, it was just odd. I'll tell you off to you, but basically it was just, it's like, the way it played out, I was not expecting this at all.
It's tough to talk about this without talking about it, but you really, in my heart, I want people to see it. I'm glad, and I want this movie to be successful. Neither one of us thought this would be part of the factor, but it's in the top 10, I believe, of grossing films domestically, which is
I think this will land 10. I think this is going to land at number 10. So that's very good.
But it was absolutely very entertaining, and I would say go out and see it without a doubt.
I don't know when it's going to actually come to home, but a lot of these movies actually don't. They go to stream. They it's pay-per-view or whatever first, or pay to stream.
Pay-per-view. Sure. That's not a thing anymore.
Well, rental, online rental. How about that? Yes. But it's cool experience. See it there. Also, Alien Earth dropped its first 3 episodes. I only watched the first 2. But holy cow, this show is pretty amazing.
They've got it. And again, I watched one or more breakdown videos, and then the Weekly Planet guys did it, putting all the timeline into effect. And right now, of course, I'm not remembering any of it, but it's obviously it's set on Earth. Thumbnail view of it, a space vessel crashes on this corporation-owned island, if I'm interpreting it correctly. And it's the corporation that owns the ship. It's not the corporation that owns the island. So what's going to happen? Gimme.
Yeah. It's definitely that the division of we a lot of themes in the future is corporations will own things, and it is interesting in this world. We have Weyland-Yutani, who deals with basically like finding science through organisms and things like that, and then we've got other groups that are like into what is it called, Infinity, which is the group by the boy Genius, who essentially decided he's figured out synths. He's figured out all of these different things, cyborgs.
Cyborgs is a new add-on to this universe. So they have one, like the one guy who's got like he's got like a big stab, stabbing thing in his wrist. He
must be able to manipulate his cybernetics, but he's part human, part thing versus a full-on synth who is just artificial intelligence. And then you've got this third group, which is essentially taking a human mind and putting it into a synthetic body,
like in the comics, at least Vision from Marvel Comics had the brain patterns of Simon Williams' Wonder Man, which was a big plot line later on when Vision was erased and they asked Simon for his brain patterns again. He wouldn't do it because he was in love with the Scarlet Witch. It was a whole thing. Kind of a bummer.
But they can only use kids because apparently their brains are the only ones that are capable of doing this, and they have to put them in adult synth bodies because the synth bodies don't grow. So then you've got this mix of adolescents, which are between, I think, the age of 10 to 13, but even before they go into puberty, to then these adult bodies, which is funny. There's one line where the new one of them is looking into I don't like these, and she's talking about her breasts because she didn't have them, and she wouldn't.
Yeah, all the characters are. It's very British, so most of the characters seem to have the accents. April pointed this out. The main character, and there are a lot of Peter Pan names. So the main character, Wendy, is the daughter of actor Kyle Chandler, which I had no idea. Yeah, because I thought, I've never seen her before, but I'm like, yeah, okay. But she doesn't speak with an accent, but I thought, everybody kind of seems like they're accented. They're all British actors because British actors are very versatile.
Some do.
Yeah.
Some don't. Like what's his name? Timothy Oliphant. He plays a synth, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And
he has just his normal accent.
Right.
And yeah, you get a mix of different characters from the different groups.
Right.
Man, and this looks great. It's a great looking show. I don't know how much this costs, but it must cost a lot.
Right.
And I liked what they did at the end of both episodes. Well, that I've seen, like they got like a rock song, which is totally like
it's very
that's
very
interesting.
Metal. And I don't know if it's the end of the second episode or the third one, but they end it with is it Master of Puppets from Metallica?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so they actually did. Okay.
Yeah. And maybe I'm picking the wrong song, but it was without a doubt Metallica. And then I read another article saying, Alien Earth, why is it so metal? And I'm like, why do you think, man? It's all about death and destruction. And people associate Alien with the 80s because that was the big film Aliens in 1986. So, this is absolutely fantastic. So this is Hulu/Disney Plus. Drops on Wednesdays, I think midnight-ish. So you can check it out when you get up in the morning.
And Noah Hawley's the showrunner. He's done a lot of great stuff on TV. So I love this. And I feel like, this is one of the inherited properties from Fox, which I think they just call 20th Century now. I think that's what they just...
Yeah,
they converted it.
Because they still have their classic...
and Predator. I mean, I feel like Disney, you can... call them wrong for whatever they did with some of the Marvel stuff, overdoing it. But the fact some of these Fox properties are getting some love in a quality way,
right?
I don't think what has happened with Fox.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right. It's a marriage that works because Disney, for a long time, was very guarded about we're for kids and we can't put out a thing with Deadpool where he's cursing and chopping people up. But you age guard the service, you rate the movies R, you really hope that the parents, and this is the one part of it's impractical, you hope the parents are smart enough not to take their 6-year-old to Deadpool, but somebody still will. You know what I mean? But they do the best they can, but by telling different types of stories to different type of groups, it's the same as I talk about with Star Trek. Different people are going to like different things, and you can make money by marketing to those different groups because kids will go see Pixar movies. Sometimes they won't, thus Elio, or they'll go see Lilo and Stitch because it's something that the older kids like when they were young, and they can take their kids to it, which is why it was the #1 movie of the summer. So, there's ways to squeeze blood from the stone. It can be done.
Yes, I think it's interesting. Well, I didn't know if you heard about this, Charlie, but we are finally going to see Hulu get killed off. The app is actually going away in 2026 because now Disney owns the whole shish kebab. Right. So that's kind of weird because now at that point you can only get this content through Disney Plus unless you have like a cable subscription or like something that has like FX or the different shows. So it is interesting now that,
who's doing cable anymore? It's your parents.
Well, but still now you have to, now you're going to just, instead of Disney Plus being whatever a month, now you're going to pay the same price for Hulu and that together without a choice, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. It is.
So now everybody gets to pay more.
And did I read that Hulu is still going to exist in some foreign country? It's all like.
Well, Hulu was never a thing outside of like North America. Okay. It was like Star Plus or something like that. And fun fact, I turned off my Disney Plus Hulu subscription. It runs out. I will see. I'm going to miss it more, and I will just get Hulu because at this point, I watch far more stuff on Hulu than I watch on Disney Plus because there's not like shows I really go to Disney Plus for that's new.
Mm-hmm. I understand
there's no Star Wars. There's no Marvel stuff right now. I mean, what am I going to Disney Plus for? Like Bluey? I mean,
that's the beauty of the choice. Yeah. You're right. Disney Plus is,
but then eventually they'll take it away from me.
Yeah, they will. All right. Well, one thing that that just brought me infinite joy this week was the return of Peacemaker. This is one of my very favorite pieces of the new DC dynasty, which is just in its nascence. But this is Peacemaker. is coming back. It was on in 2022, which was DC, when DC was still technically part of the DCEU umbrella.
Correct. Spun out of was it the Suicide Squad or just
I can
Suicide
never
Squad?
keep track of which was which. And the first smart thing that they did with this that I really enjoyed is that watching even though I recently watched the season, I did watch the recap, and they retcon bits of the recap. They retcon two very specifically.
Yes.
You had the one character who is I cannot remember her name. The black woman who's what's her face's daughter is calling for help, and instead of saying we need help, we need the Justice League, she says we need help, we need the Justice Gang. And then as they wrap up the show or they're wrapping up the recap, and Peacemaker is carrying Harwood, played by James Gunn's wife, off, and you see silhouetted characters in the background. Instead of having Aquaman and the Flash and Superman and Wonder Woman, who are both in silhouette because the first two characters had speaking roles, you now have the DC Studios cast of characters. And the only characters we get speaking roles out of would be Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, who will make a very famous appearance in the show, which you have seen in the trailers. That entire sequence of his interview was absolutely fantastic. That poor woman in the rabbit suit. Oh my goodness.
Oh yes. I mean, and it's funny because the show is so over the top. So it's like if you just saw Superman, you saw Peacemaker in that show. Kids, don't watch this show. It's not for you.
No, absolutely not.
And I did watch a recap of season 1, just kind of get myself back up to speed because some of more of the plot points of certain things with some of the characters, I need to go back to it. But this one picks up pretty well right after. Everyone, obviously, they've been exonerated because of, putting it on Waller, and now they can just have a life. But their life's not that great. What's his name? Vigilante's working in a restaurant, and not doing well.
I think it's the same one from the first. He has the same old job back. So yeah.
Yep. Steve Agee is still working for
Argus,
the government. And then, but he's got a different boss now because they brought in Rick Flag Sr. To run the joint, and he was in. And we met Rick Flag Sr. in Creature Commandos, which is kind of nice. It's all coming together.
Yep.
And then, we got other characters are kind of having a rough time. Peacemaker's having a rough time. Hargrave's having a hard time, and so is Harcourt, and so is I'm blanking on her name, Amanda Waller's daughter.
Yeah. But she was tasty in Orange Is the New Black, which you didn't watch. But yes, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so she can't even get a job. She's like, oh, blah, blah, you could get this job where? She goes, oh, they're hiring? So everybody's not doing very well right now. But the fun part about this...
It was Bed Bath & Beyond is hiring.
So we also got a new theme song, by Foxy Shazam, which... There was a lot. I think the only music we got was from Foxy Shazam now in this episode.
Too. It was the end music. I think when she was finally killing Starro, I think this song was playing. I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, Foxy Shazam is great show for music, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, some of the songs are better than others. The intro is obviously adding in the new characters, which is great, which is they're just adapting and having some fun with it. The dancing is not as good as, didn't stand out as much as the first season, but that's okay.
And it was similar, but you can't always just have this. I mean, some shows always have the same open, but that is obviously they're looking to differentiate and stuff. But
I like the song. I like the theme song better from the first season. Right. But
do you really want to taste it?
It just kicks, right? Yeah. So, and then this one is kind of do some really interesting things. I don't want to go into spoilers, but I love it. It's funny, and it's delivering one episode a week. So once again, some people are making that shift.
Yeah, that's good. And like I said, HBO Max is also very heavily tiered with ads for most people, unless you opt out of it. So they need to make their nut too. The stuff isn't free. People want to bitch about that now it's as much as cable and you still have to watch ads. Then don't say, but you have the choice. You have the choice. Everybody has the choice.
Antennas are free. Oh no, you got to buy an antenna set, but then you can watch PBS for free.
Ooh,
until it's removed. Yeah,
for the time being. Oh my God! All right, so obviously I watched all that stuff, so I don't have as much stuff to talk about. We did again, Hulu and Disney Plus watched a movie called Locked, and I remember seeing the trailer for this early in the year. It's with it's the Skarsgård, one of the Skarsgård boys. It's the one who was It. Is that Peter Skarsgård? No, that's not Peter Skarsgård. Oh my God, I can't keep him straight.
Bill.
Bill is Bill Skarsgård, and of course, I'm gonna draw. Who the hell played Odin? British actor
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins is the other character in this, and it's about a kind of a white trash thief who is trying to make ends meet. And yes, he has, he's got an ex-wife or a baby mama and a daughter who is in school, and he's trying to provide for her, but he's a loser, can't get his act together, drugs, drinking, in and out of jail, whatever it is. So he's doing what I'm sure ne'er-do-wells do. He's going through a parking lot and flipping door handles and seeing one of them opens up, and he gets in. It's a Bentley. It's a beautiful car, but it locks and then it rings through, and it's Anthony Hopkins on the other end of the line, and he says, "Thanks for trying to steal my car. You're my slave now. You will do my bidding." And this car starts to torture him. Electric shocks, hot and cold.
Oh, gee.
He ends up shooting himself. He has a gun, ends up trying to shoot the window, goes through his leg. I mean, it's all kinds of bad shit. And even when I saw the trailer, I'm like, boy, this is dumb as hell. But then we saw that it was on. I'm like, oh, we saw this trailer. Why not watch it?
I'm convinced. Dumb. You had me at dumb.
And for half of the time, Anthony Hawkins is talking to him through the navigation system, the phone on the car. And then eventually they do meet face to face. And then it's this race to the death for him to escape and get back to his daughter and all this. So not dramatically.
So was it a race? Like Anthony Hopkins was chasing him because he's like 102 years old.
He's chasing. He was just on foot. No, the two of them end up in the car together. Sorry to spoil it. But yeah.
Oh God. Well, I mean, even then, like, what does he do? I mean, he's old.
Again, you will have to see. But yeah, is it paint by numbers? Yes. It's a horror movie that you would kind of expect Bill Skarsgård to be in after the remake of The Crow. Yes. So,
that happened.
Yeah, it was probably on par quality level with what I would imagine that would be, maybe a little bit better. But yeah, it was hey, I'm being tortured by technology, and there's this strange guy who is a rich weirdo, and he wants to get me. So, you know what? It was it was heckling fun to look at. But yeah, that's over on Disney Plus. But we always talk about rabbit holes. I fell down a rabbit hole of, these are 10 great movies from the 80s that you haven't seen. I had never seen The Howling before. Is that movie ring a bell to you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember like the smiley face. I believe that was one of the big parts of it, and the community of werewolves. Wasn't there a smiley face that was like? Yeah, I remember seeing parts of it as a kid and just very spooked by it. But yeah, I remember. Was it Dee Wallace was the lead?
Correct, and one of the main villains was Bob Picardo. Directed by Joe Dante, who later went on to direct an 80s movie that I absolutely adored, which was called Inner Space, which also had Bob Picardo
and Gremlins.
Oh, that's right. But no, the poster, which you might remember.
Bob Picardo was in that too. He married the female gremlin.
In the second one, yeah. But the poster is just claws coming down, like what you would imagine would be a sheet. But yeah, it's Dee Wallace, who is of course in Cujo, E.T., was in a movie I watched last night called Secret Admirer, which was a terrible C. Thomas Howell movie from 1985.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've been on a bad 80s movie.
He made a lot of bad films. Yeah. Soul Man.
Oh
Come on,
God.
C. Thomas Howell.
I've never actually seen, who else is in Soul Man who's not around anymore? Rae Dawn Chong. I don't see her in anything anymore.
Tommy Chong's daughter, right?
I have no idea. Could be. Makes sense.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my God. But anyway, The Howling was pretty low budget, but it was decent. It was a decent film. What wasn't decent, because when you watch it, I like Tubi as a service. I mean, it's crap and they have old stuff, but they're very quick to dump you into the next thing if you don't like, I got to hit the button.
Oh,
so it dumped me into the sequel, which came out 5 years later. Wow. Now, Christopher Lee was in it, but so was Reb Brown, who was Captain America of the 1970s. It was not good.
Well, just let you know, C. Thomas Howell was married to Rae Dawn Chong as well.
Oh, no kidding. Well, I wish them both.
And her dad is Tommy Chong.
Good call. But anyway, I think The Howling is worth watching. Suspenseful. I think they did a lot with it. The one thing that April and I watched it together, we were cracking out a bit, is that they spend a lot of time showing you the werewolf transformation. And at one point, Dee Wallace is trapped in a room with somebody transforming, but it takes like 5 minutes for them to transform. No, it wasn't Dee Wallace. It was one of the other characters who unfortunately gets killed. They take 5 minutes to transform, which would give you ample time to run away. And all you do is stand there and go.
Well, Charlie, it's kind of cool to see for the first time, right?
You just want to
this is really cool. I'm afraid, but
Yeah,
check this out.
I'm invested in this. Oh, you're going to kill me now, but I stayed. Don't I win some bonus points for staying and watching you transform?
Because I mean, how often are you going to see a werewolf? I mean, really? I mean,
especially it'll be the last thing you see. But
it's kind of like an accident. You can't look away, right? You're the gawkers.
I mean, as long as at the end of it, the car's not going to hit you. Yes, absolutely. I guess so.
Could explode. You could hit somebody as you're watching it. Like,
right. It could be exciting. But anyway, watch the first one, definitely skip the second one, and they made like 5 more sequels after that. Obviously,
there was one in a castle in like Europe. I watched on like Skinemax one night.
That was the second one, I think. And
that was the second one. The second one was that one. Well, I thought it was the third one.
Sybil Danning was the star, and she was in all these booby movies in the 80s, always pulling her boobs out, and she did in this one as well.
Oh wow! I thought that was like the third one or fourth one. Maybe I was wrong.
They may have had 2, but I mean, this second one did revolve around them going to Transylvania or
they had 8. There's been 8 films. Howling Reborn came out in 2011.
Oh my God!
After a 16-year gap.
I guess. Well, good. Another 16 years will go by. There should be one coming out pretty soon. The Phases of the Moon. Well, anyway, watch
it's
first
based
one.
on a series of novels too.
Yes, I did read that.
Wow.
So anyway, TLDR, first one worth watching. The rest of them, I doubt it. The second one, definitely not. And that is the end of the Geek Easy. So, Todd, I have my Air Quantus app out. It is time to get us to the land down under, where the hologram Tina and the mutants await for us to talk about Seasons Change, the summer box office.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome!
Thank you, Tina. The mutants have been gathered for a topic or a game to be entertained. And this week, we are now, we would say, considered to be done with all of the big summer movie releases of 2025. So what we're going to do is first look at how the summer went in regards to, like, did the movies deliver from a quality perspective? We're not going to talk about box office just because we will do the wager review in about 2 weeks when the summer is wrapped up. So we just want to say, has this been a good summer or a bad summer for movies? Kind of give it a review. We're not going to talk about, maybe we would have talked about others, but I think this is just, let's talk about here and now. And then we're going to say, is this summer going to be better or worse than what we see next year, and vice versa? Will 2026 be a better performing summer as we look at the releases? So, obviously that's all promise because none of them has been rated. Some of those movies may move still, but let's say what happened and what could happen. And I think this summer, the biggest thing would say, Hollywood did not like the summer because apparently it started off strong, ended kind of weak, and will not make the $4 billion they wanted. But other than that, let's see if it made us happy with the quality of film. So let's go through this list really quick, Charlie. And we're gonna say, as we could say, hot or not, just the movie, hot or not. We're not gonna like go on more than that because we've got a lot to get through. So, or if we did not see it, say no. I don't know. What's a good hot not or
NA
skip? We skipped it essentially, right? We passed hot not, pass, hot not, skip.
And there were definitely a few that I didn't see that are on even my own.
Yeah. I want to say skip because I didn't see it, not just because of the quality, just because I didn't see it. Let's just do that.
You skipped it, absolutely.
Okay, yes, absolutely. Right. So we'll go with this. Thunderbolts.
Hot. Yeah, it was hot. Not hot enough, but hot.
Final Destination Bloodlines. That was a skip for me. Didn't see it.
It was hot. Enjoyed it.
Hurry Up Tomorrow. Skip. Didn't see that.
The same.
Lilo and Stitch. Skip,
but it was number 1.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Did not care for it. Very stupid.
Bring Her Back. Skip.
Yep.
Karate Kid Legends. Hot.
Skip. But
you skipped, but not enough. Okay, I liked it, but so you go.
And you know what? And
did you see it?
No.
So a skip. So
it didn't interest me. But hey, all that matters is that you enjoyed it. Who cares?
Okay. From the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Hot.
Skip.
Life of Chuck. Skip.
Chuck.
Phoenician Scheme. Skip.
I saw it. Not hot.
Oh, really? Okay, I did not hear about that one.
It's on streaming. Yeah, it was just.
It's the what's it called, brother? Was this a Coen film? Not a Coen film.
No, the Anderson, Wes Anderson.
Yes, Wes Anderson. Yeah, I've seen so few of his films. The Ritual. Skip.
I
know nothing about this movie. How to Train Your Dragon live action. Skip.
Same.
Materialists, skip.
Skip. My dad saw it, liked it, but skip.
I mean, yeah, it's a rom-com. 28 years later, that was hot.
Yep.
A little weird.
Agreed. Very weird.
Bride Hard, didn't even know this was released. Skip.
Oh, skip to. I knew about it. Saw a trailer. Looked very skippable, and it was.
Pixar's Elio, skip.
Mm-hmm.
F1 movie, that was a skip.
Yep, same.
Megan 2.0, that was not.
Oh, I liked it. Saw it, liked it.
Jurassic World Rebirth, so that's a skip.
Not. It was dumb.
Superman, hot.
Super hot. Loved it. Big fan.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, not.
Skip. No, you saw it. That's right. You did see it. That's right.
It was dumb.
Yeah.
Smurfs musical, that's skip.
Yep.
Fantastic Four First Steps.
Hot.
That's a hot. Yes, like Johnny Storm. Bad Guys 2. Skip. Beneath the Storm. Skip. Naked Gun. Hot. Surprisingly.
Yeah. Very surprising for me. I was not going to go, but I got won over by the court of public opinion.
And you're happier for it. Together. That's skip. That's the Alison Brie. What's his name movie where they start forming together? That is. I do not want to see that.
No,
Sketch. Skip, but that does look cute.
I don't remember.
Weapons.
Now.
Hot.
Super hot. Sizzler.
Freakier Friday. That's a skip.
Yep.
Nobody 2. That's a skip. I will probably wait till video. Yeah.
Sure.
Americana. Skip.
Yep.
Caught Stealing. Skip. That's that Austin Butler film where he gets hooked up with Matt Smith. Matt Smith from 80s London.
Yeah, that's out. That's actually out at the end of this week, so it's not out yet.
And then we have Toxic Avenger would be the last film.
Yeah.
It's not even out yet, so we can't see it. But to me, it's
probably
dumb.
not.
I would have to.
Yeah.
I may. Yeah, it's
not.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not much see. So
what do we give this review? I mean, because I think I skipped the movies not necessarily because they were all bad, just because a lot of them just came out and it wasn't enough to drive me to the movie theater, or no interest maybe.
Yeah, you're saying like how would you balance it? Like how would you say, okay, well I'm thinking about the last really hot summer of movies where there was like a string of great ones in a row, and it was like it's like I mean I don't know if you have numbers in front of you. What was the last like? If you look at a snapshot, the last summer was like, here's 10 movies. They were all really successful, critical, even just really successful based on the numbers. Like what was like really burning hot summer?
Pre-COVID. I can give you the top 10 of last summer. Inside Out 2, Deadpool, Wolverine, Despicable Me 4, Twisters, Bad Boys, Ride or Die.
Yeah.
Was that last summer? Jeez, Planet of the Kingdom of the Apes, Quiet Place Day 1, Ends with Us, If, The Fall Guy, Garfield movie, Alien Romulus, Long Legs, and Furiosa, a Mad Max summer. I will say I think this summer was better than that last summer.
I was going to say the opposite. I thought that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found a lot of really enjoyable movies overall because there were a couple in this, that obviously that I said that I enjoyed, but there were enough of them that I skipped, and a lot of the ones that you ran through I did see. So I guess I would balance mine more so on movies that I went to go see. You know what I mean? Because that way I could have more of an informed judgment. But think of all the multiple skips that we had. You know what I mean?
Correct, but I liked most of the movies I saw.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Because
So that's kind of where I look at it. I mean, it's like if you would say, because there's gonna be skips just because you don't get it all in or it's just not for you. But when I looked at last summer, I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, 2 really good comic book films in the same year, the same summer. That rarely happens.
Well, they say the last time that happened was 2012. No, 2008. Because it was Dark Knight and Iron Man. Think about it. That was almost 20. It was almost 20 years ago.
I mean, it kind of sucks because the Mission Impossible film this summer, I really did not care for. It seemed like it went out with a whimper. But maybe I don't know. It's really, another Jurassic World film. That's, kind of like you're either into those movies or not.
And that was, and I don't even want to say it was a disappointment because it's been paint by numbers since Well, when they brought Jurassic back to Jurassic World, I thought that was a fresher take because it was, it was the island of dinosaurs. It was an amusement park, and invariably something goes wrong. But it was a big hit, so they got to bring it back and say, well, now, but we have to go back again, and we're not going back this time. But now that they're here, and there's a mystery, and then, but this one was like, there's yet another island, and we got to go back to collect brain tissue from the biggest of dinosaurs because it can cure cancer. And it was like, we're going to go, I can get, and ScarJo is like, I can guarantee your safety. I'm a big, tough, whatever. But then there was a family that just happened into the story. And it was, well, I'm a single dad and these are my kids. And it was just, dude,
yeah. Not
you
so much.
name it.
Not so much. Yeah.
And Kurt and I have gone back and forth about this. He's like, well, that movie sucked. I'm like, that movie made over 333 million plus. And was almost going to catch up to, was almost neck and neck with Superman, which was a great film. So
as I would always say, the Fast and Furious movies and those Transformers movies made a lot of money too.
Absolutely.
Until they stop. So something will happen or they'll reboot again because dinosaurs, quite honestly, it's funny that they died, but the movie never died. And quite honestly, it's the only dinosaur films that are ever out. We don't get any other different dinosaur movies. So.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, they had that 65 million, whatever, with Adam Driver.
Which did horrible.
Yeah, exactly. But,
I will say one more thing, though, before we kind of get... Thunderbolts also launched this summer. So I've had those 3 comic book movies I really liked.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. And you're right. A lot of people clearly didn't get Thunderbolts because it didn't even cross over 200 million. But it's something that you and I have talked about a lot, is that it was heavily reliant on characters from the Disney Plus Marvel shows, which you would think like, oh, Marvel's so big, everybody watches everything, but it's just not the case. There are people who don't invest in those shows, and people get sick of homework, which is why I think Fantastic Four is more successful. Anyway.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go back to the list from 2024. So let's see if we looked at her. So I'm going to go through them and just tell me hot or not, or skip. Okay. So right. Inside Out 2.
Yes.
Hot. I liked it. Loved it. Deadpool and Wolverine. Hot. Despicable Me 4. Skip.
Yep.
Twisters. Skip.
Saw. It was okay.
So is that a hot or not?
Hot. I don't know.
Lukewarm. Bad Boys Ride or Died. Skip.
Saw it on VOD or saw it on streaming. Not hot.
But you didn't see it, so you didn't see it. So it's a skip. Yeah.
No, I did finally see it. Yes, but not in theater.
Oh, okay. But it didn't. It wasn't enough to get you to the movie either. But you did see it. Okay, so that's not. Okay.
So, that's not.
Then we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That's a skip.
Yeah, it was not good. I saw it. Not.
Okay. Quiet. Okay. Quiet Place Day 1. Hot. It Ends With Us. Skip.
Agreed.
Skip.
Yeah, not good. Yeah.
The Fall Guy. Hot.
Yes.
I'm just gonna go. There's 14 in this list. I'm not sure why. I just chopped it off. Garfield movie. Skip.
Yep.
Alien Romulus. Hot.
Yep.
Long Legs. Hot.
Yep.
Furiosa Mad Max Saga. Hot.
Yes. I had to think for a minute because I'm like, did I really? But yeah, it was all right.
So maybe they're not that much dissimilar year to year, right?
I guess, yeah. It's splitting hairs to try to pick the two.
I mean, if you're a comic book fan, that last summer you only got one. If you're a comic book fan, this summer obviously far different. You got 3 movies you could really enjoy. They're all good. So a little bit of that. So there we go. That's 2025. Not the best of times, not the worst of times.
Yep.
But some highlights and some disappointments as usual. So let's look at 2026 really quick.
And let's keep in mind our time frame is May to the end of August.
So I'm scrolling. What?
I got it. Yeah. Well, here I'll jump in.
Okay.
Do you want me to just read the title of each one, or do you want me to pick out the ones that I think are substantive?
We'll just go through them, and then if we want to call it out what it is.
Something called Animal Friends kicks off May 1st. Ryan Reynolds, Aubrey Plaza. No clue.
It's going to have animated animals involved with live action.
Not interested. Next film.
Oh, that would have. Dan Levy. I mean, the cast is great.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know anything else about it. I would say for right now that is a skip for me.
Yeah. Disclosure is the Steven Spielberg movie that comes out on May 15 with Emily Blunt, Colin Firth, and Coleman Domingo and Wyatt Russell. Reuniting Spielberg with David Koepp, who did Jurassic World and War of the Worlds, for a film based on an original idea that we don't know anything about. Well, I don't think that guarantee. I think we know
it's a sci-fi film about a UFO starring in it. So for me, Steven Spielberg doing sci-fi, that's a hot.
Yeah, agreed. But it's followed hot on the heels by The Mandalorian and Grogu on May 22nd. Now I sound like the you have called movie phone. I sound like the movie phone guy. Starring, obviously, the cast of the show, plus Jeremy Allen White and Sigourney Weaver. This is taking over for the 4th season of The Mandalorian, giving us a big screen dealy deal. Don't know much about the plot, except Jeremy Allen White, who is the very hot The Bear, will be the grown-up version of Rada the Hutt, son of Jabba the Hutt, that we met in Todd's favorite animated Star Wars show, The Clone Wars, the movie that came out.
What's the weird Hutt from Clone Wars that kind of talk like this?
Sound like Truman Capote? Yeah, Zero. Yeah, absolutely.
So what is he gonna sound like? He's gonna go, oh. I mean, is all I gotta do is a Hutt?
Well, you're right, because it's proven that Hutts can speak English or basic, not just their Hutt language. But yeah, he'll have to, because he's
no Hutt language. I don't know.
Speaking Huttese, like Mr. Rose. Me no speaking English.
Okay, so I will say this one. It's a hot. I'm hoping it redeems itself from season 3, which I didn't care much for. Let's go to Masters of the Universe. You know what? My heart says hot.
You know what? And I love that they used a picture from the 87 film with Tom Paris and Courtney Cox. Yes,
that's right.
My heart wants to say hot as well, because Alison Brie's in it. So, okay, here's one we've debated about. June 12 is a revival of the Scary Movie franchise, which was super white hot in the early 2000s. But so was the revival of The Naked Gun, and that did not blow the box office away.
Well, and also this is fun, that we're basically getting the Wayne brothers, who were behind like the first one, the first 3, I think. They're coming back, and I think they're not that talented in regards to keeping up with the times. Their stuff is very, to me, always felt like over the top in not a great way, kind of dated.
Yeah, kind of hacky. Yeah, stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to say not.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Now, here's a question for me. Toy Story 5, which is very near and dear. As Victoria grew up on that first film. April said it wore out several VHS tapes. Comes out June 19. So here's my question. Is Toy Story bulletproof? I'd have to look at the performances of the last few films, but has it maintained?
Last one was huge.
Okay, so you think that there's a good chance that this will be big? This will do well.
When was Toy Story 4 last out? And it's not even like, does it do big? Will it be a good film?
It says right here, 15 years ago, 2010.
Obviously. Well, that was 3. 4 came out in 2019.
Oh, okay. Well, they say 15. Oh, they say 50. Well, then who the hell was in the 4th one? If it says Buzz and Woody are back 15 years later, doesn't it say that? Oh, okay. So, okay. Never mind. Yeah, it does.
Okay. Yeah. 3 was a swan song. Then 15 years later, the Dinosaurs are back again in Toy Story. I don't know why they did that. That's weird.
Leapfrog over the 4th one. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, I mean, the 4th one, I don't know. I didn't see the 4th one. I do want to see it because I do enjoy the films. Yeah, so I think this will do well, because I just think this one's going to be more about like dealing with like devices and things. So, which is true.
And nostalgia fuel. All right. Here's a wild card that I want. Then. Yeah. Here's a wild card. The next one that I want to be successful, but I feel like might suffer because of she's a girl, and that would be Supergirl, World of Tomorrow. I don't want it to be that way, because I think it's going to be fun and great, but I think a lot of people will say, but then again, the Barbie movie was enormous, because it, we felt that it touched all the quadrants.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So for me, I'd like to think that means it can be successful. Superman was successful, but it didn't make a gajillion dollars, at least in the United States, but it was successful. And
I think they viewed it as a return to form.
Right.
And was critically and did well at the box, which is what they wanted. Anything, yes.
Well, they had such a hole to dig out of, and they need to start somewhere. So I know that I'll enjoy this movie, because again, I feel like
crypto's back, Charlie.
Well, so people love cute animals. It's going to be.
I'm all in. I'm all in for this. I say hot.
Yeah, Crypto versus Baby Yoda or Kevin. Okay, we have another Minions movie.
This is weird. So we have this one is the June 26th movie, so not 4th of July, and then we get it's called Minions 3 Mega Minions. This is July 11th. So we don't have a 4th of July. Is a Supergirl just she's getting the next 2 weeks?
This one says June 1, so I think the date.
I looked up the date. I did look up the date. It says July. It says July. Oh no, this is the movie. I saw it July 11th and July 1st. So it's July 1st. So no, this is the game. This is the movie that's going to be yours for July.
I think it'll be hot. It'll do well because it's positioned that way, and these continue to be a big deal. This is an interesting one. So July 17 is The Odyssey. This is Christopher Nolan's hotly anticipated period piece historical movie. This is one, and if I'm not mistaken, they put pre-sale tickets on sale a couple of weeks ago for a year in advance, and they sold out
for the trailer. Based on the trailer that came out, which I missed the trailer, so I didn't get to see it.
Oh, is it not available streaming? You haven't seen
it? It might be. I'd have to look, but I know they launched it just in theater.
To be honest with you, it's just John Bernthal and Tom Holland having a chat, and that's about it. Yeah, that's
for
about
the Odyssey.
Yeah, for the Odyssey. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Okay,
it was kind of weird, but it was enough to sell a bunch of tickets. So that is a guaranteed top 5 as far as I'm concerned. If people are buying tickets,
I love Nolan no matter what he's doing. He made me watch a movie about people talking about the atomic bomb for how many hours? So I say hot.
It was your Barbenheimer. A Paw Patrol movie. I don't know if this is their third installment on the big screen. I guess it would depend on how the first two. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I won't see it. And here we go with Spider-Man. Spider-Man Brand New Day on July 31. This is shaping up to be a street-level movie, but they keep adding cast members to it. So I hope it doesn't turn into Spider-Man 3, which was like too many characters. But
new director, right? New director, new status quo for Peter.
Yeah,
I say hot.
Oh, absolutely. Well, these movies have not let down. People have liked him.
Different director, though. This is the first time with a different director, so it could be a miss. And there's not going to be a lot of your normal cast. The status quo is different, so who knows? Maybe people will not like it.
I don't know. Now we're getting into August, which is kind of the doldrums. Oh, only 2 movies listed, but again, we're so far out. Flower Vale Street with Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor, which sounds like some sci-fi mystery by J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. That could be interesting. Great cast too.
Yeah. It could be something. Yeah, sure. I'll agree with you there. Thread and so back to the Insidious movies. Another entry.
Oh, really?
Tail.
Interesting.
I bought tickets for the one coming out in a couple of weeks. Is that an Insidious or the ones with Ed and Lorraine Warren?
Oh no, that's the one with the Warrens. Yeah, the Warrens. Yeah.
So this is the other one that has Lynn Shay in it, though I think her character is dead now.
This is Mandy Moore and Kumail Nanjiani are in this. So crazy.
That is, and again, it's Blumhouse. They do extremely well. So I'm going to call this one a sleeper. I might even put it on my bracket. We'll see when we get there.
I have now. This is probably a skip. I have not seen any of these films.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe just not for me.
I understand, and that's it. That's the end of the summer.
I expect some movement. Some movement from the list. When I look at that, this list of films, Charlie, I think there's going to be some fun films, but this does not look like that strong of a summer, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to have 2 or 3 tentpoles. So Spider-Man, Star Wars, and then Nolan will be pretty. That's probably your top 3, depending on where.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see when we get there. So, all right. That is the show. Good times. Had fun. Todd, where do people find you out there?
They can follow me on the Blue Sky at Todd Oxtra, at the Threads, at T Oxtra, and there you go.
Etc. Well, I'm on a lot of those same socials. At least I'm on Instagram and Threads and Blue Sky as at the C3 TheCeeThree. Also spending a hell of a lot of time over at our Secret Friends Unite Discord. It's the best place to have fun and safe chats about pop culture, geek stuff, etc. Find us there if you're a Discord user. If you're not, drop one of us a line. We'll hook you up with an invite and we'll get you in the mix because we would love to grow. We have a great community and we'd love to continue to keep growing it over there. But with that, friends, I will tell you as always, thank you for joining us. I'm going to say sharing is caring and keep on trucking.
Be the hero, not the villain.
In a truck.
Eagly!
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.